It was really pleasant to talk with you, and I'm really happy that we discussed some things that are maybe not only about the film, but about the things that are connected with to the film. Because yeah, that's a lot of different similar things all over these interviews, and this was really interesting to talk about some deeper issues, I guess.
Раз, два, три, чотири.
Masha!
Ми тут, Маша!
Masha!
Хто ми?
Загалом, якщо ми будемо розглядати, що відбувається в мозку людини.
Welcome in this new appointment of my interviews, and welcome to the young Ukrainian director, filmmaker, Kateryna Gornostai. Her film Stop-Zemlia, presented in the Generation 14 Plus in the 71st edition of Berlinale. Kateryna, thank you very much for being with me, first of all. And then let us begin with the title of the film. What does it mean, the title of the film?
The title is the name of the game. So we have in my region of region of the city I was where I went to school. We had this game. It's a bit childish game, so we were playing it while we were kids, actually. And this is like a catcher game. So you have the person that is with blinded eyes, and he or she tries to catch somebody, but not like without any vision. And others from the group try not to be caught and try to be somewhere above the ground. So this is the rules. You need to be above the ground somewhere. And if the catcher is near you and he or she tries to catch you, actually, you can run away to some other place. But if you are hurt that you're on the ground, the catcher can shout "Stop-Zemlia," and if you are on the ground, you became a catcher. So this is really simple rules. This is really fun thing to play, even when you're a teenager, I think. So I propose our cast and our kids to play this game, and I really like this combination of these two words. So literally, it means like "stop the planet" or planet Earth. Stop-Zemlia. Zemlia, it's Earth in Ukrainian. And I like this combination of these two words. We were afraid that this would be this would have some pandemic connotation, because that's why we didn't translate it, stop the planet, because the planet was stopped all this year. So we didn't want it to be there, but so that's why we like realized that we wanted in Ukrainian.
Well then you left it like that, because it's the film which poses questions, and beginning from the title with a question, that's very important thing. And it's a film about 25 teenagers, which they are in between two eras, two ages. We'll finish with that joke, with that play, Stop-Zemlia, to pass to the other step of their life. They are the class 11A of the secondary or high school, and A, the beginning of something else. They are in that between, in that moment of changing, and they are experimenting everything to know their self, their inside selves. You choose 25 young people and 5 adult people. 5 of them, those 5 adult people are 3 parents and 2 teachers. First of all, why that class? Why those 25 people? When you made your casting, you loved those characters and you choose them. But 25 was meaning something or not?
Actually, it was 26, but one person didn't manage to be with us till the end, because we were aware that we need more people to test them, to test them for further work. So it wasn't, this number doesn't have any symbolism. So it's just 25. We have this kind of so our classes in Ukraine consist of 25, 30 people. It's something like that. And we wanted this class to be ours. So we were trying to find as many as possible in our group.
Mhm.
But they are not a real class actually. So they're not familiar people to each other before. They were not familiar before the shooting and before the preparation. For me, it was one of the coolest parts of the pre-production and like doing this film, because we were doing a great deal of research in schools, and we're interviewing people that came with the open call. And on some stage, I just realized that they are really interesting. Some of them are really interesting, but not like I was always remember that I need to focus and I need to find our main protagonist. But at some point, sometimes I was falling in love with some people that are not from our film, but they are really interesting. And that's why we gathered 25 people that are so, for me, they're really diverse and really interesting.
No,
the word I'm repeating. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of a thing. It was like that. So and we didn't. We had this period of preparation in which we didn't want them to see the script. So this was the preparation just for us, just for fun, just for making friends, just for doing some actors laboratory work, practice some movements and voice, and some etudes and some documentary theater practices. So we just were having fun together for 2 months, doing some kind of crazy stuff. And that's how we became this kind of group. I don't know, theatrical group. Actually, they became like one big class. And at that point, after this laboratory, we came into the room with my with our trainees from the laboratory and with our main team, like DOP, editor, and we were just looking at the portraits and starting to pick the main protagonist from this class. So at that point, they began to change the script a bit after we picked them on the roles. So this was the process was like that.
They were great, and they were great, really great, because they gave me the sensation that they know each other since the kindergarten. So they are very, very close, and I think so many of them will become a very smart actor in the future. The character of Masha begins like a wild character, a person who is strange, alienated from the other, but she grows till she becomes a woman. Because also her aspect, we discover that wild image of her with her eyes, and then we discover the woman inside, the person who she became. You watched everything mainly of Masha eyes, and then Sasha and Arseny and Maya's eyes. Those 4 characters were the most, let us say, the first violin was Masha, and the other violins in this orchestra, which you guided really very nicely, and the other instruments, which all they were important to create this this concert at the end. And that cat, your cat, is coming.
Sorry, she's
Don't worry,
like
don't worry, don't worry.
yeah, she's an actor in every my interview. She coming and doing her job.
It is like Masha's small brother.
Yeah, that's kind of something like that. Yes.
Okay, you create all this situation in the, as I told you, in the passage between being children and being adults in that, or teenagers and being adults, finishing the high school to go to the university and then spread each of them they will go to some other university, not together, but you choose also a very particular geography, environment of this situation. There is the school, but this school is in a city or in a countryside or in somewhere which is far from the noisy big cities or problematic cities. It seems we are as age in the normal lands, and the city is a normal land, right?
You know, I don't know, because I tried to have the scenery really similar to my scenery that I had while I was at school. And it was really strange thing because I began living in this city in Kyiv. It's the capital of Ukraine, actually. It's the biggest city in Ukraine. And I started living here when I was 6, and I just went to school here. But we lived in a district that was, it's a sleeping district of Kyiv. And I don't know if you have this kind of a thing like sleeping districts, you know, it's a Soviet maybe kind of a stuff. It's a district of the city. Well, when there's a lot of different buildings, and everybody are not working there, are just there's homes of people there, schools, homes, and some maybe hospitals. Yeah, residential. Yeah, residential areas. Yes, but Kiev is not really like young city actually, but strangely enough, we have this residential areas within 15 minutes from center actually. So it's 15 minutes on a subway, and you're in the center of the city where everything is like business and everything is going on, and the I don't know, everything is here. So 15 minutes and you're at the center, but 15 minutes and you this like area where you have this great park that is seem more like a forest but not a park. And you have this you know, this area where everybody going home from work. And it was for me really important to save this feeling, because when you are a small kid, you have this really small territory. The map of your territory, your own territory, is really small. It's just your house, and then it may be the block of houses and the school, and maybe then it's the some blocks and your district, and you just doing this map. You just exploring this map further and further, and I really I really remember this moment when you enter the university and the map of your inner map became so much bigger, because you going to the going by the subway to another station to your university at the center of the city, and you're going not so long, but this kind of a thing that when you are a teenager, you just near your school and you're staying in this district, and everybody is there. So all your friends are there, your parents, and all your life is just this few blocks of your small district. You're like living in this small, I don't know, like a you're just like in a jar. You can do whatever you want, and I think you're free to go somewhere, but you don't have a wish to do it before you're adult enough. Yeah.
In the film, there are 3 times in the same those 2 hours or something less than 2 hours. We have the past, which is in the museum. We have the present, and we have the future. The past as the past of Soviet Union and Ukraine, and in that museum or in that areas which talks about the past. And we have the present with those 25 young people with their parents, their teachers, and the future. That small brother of Masha. In the present, there are 2 stages. Those 25 people, young people, and their 5 adult people. There is no fathers. one of the two fathers is passing only like that, but there is a great presence of the mothers. The two mothers, even the teachers, they are very, very close to them. Those two mothers, I felt, I am Mediterranean, so I felt them more Mediterranean than Northern people. They are very close to their kids. They are very, very aware for them. And that scene when the mother of Masha comes and lay down beside her daughter, and Masha puts her head on the breast of the mother. It is really, okay, it's a mother and daughter scene, but it is really Mediterranean scene. There is that strong presence of women in the film and the mothers. The fathers are there. One of them, we don't see him, but we know about him through the talk of the mother, Sasha's mother, and we don't know if at least I didn't understand if he is alive or dead. No matter or about that, but we don't see the fathers. We see only women and the mothers.
It's really interesting thing to think about it now, because I had I think this is the thing we not really planned for Masha, for example. I really wanted this feeling of a full family with mother and a father, but but it was really hard to. The casting of fathers maybe was the most difficult one, actually. I don't know. That's really we had. I'm really in love with our actors, adult actors. They're really actors. So the kids, they are non-professional actors, but the grown-ups, except teachers are real teachers. But grown-ups from mothers and the father, they are real actors, Ukrainian actors, professionals. And we decided to do that because it was really easier to find kids for like non-professionals, but it was really hard to find non-professional adults. And so we decided to go for actors. But the figure of the father, for me, it was really challenging because I really want him to combine some maybe really ambivalent things. I really want him to be strong and big as a figure in the family, but in a way really sensitive. And for example, I really want him to do the flowers things, this one that mother is doing. And I really tried to find such men that are interested in botanics and are doing some kind of things and experimenting with plants at home. But it was really hard to do that. So we decided not to do that and just to give it to the mother, because she was in real life, she was really fond of plants, so she went for it. But and we have some scenes that we actually deleted from the editing afterwards, because they were about parents, only parents, without kids. And this was the scenes where parents were talking about the kids actually, but at some point on editing table, we realized that we really want this story to be mostly about inner world of Masha and this collective of class, more than about relationships of parents. So because of that, we stayed with parents only when kids are present in the frame. And that's why they are not so visible in this story. They are on a periphery of this story. And for the fathers, it's really strange thing. I don't know how to. I have an explanation that maybe is too personal, I guess. I think that while I was a teenager, I had really I had some expectations towards my father, my own father. He is a scientist, and he's doing a lot of scientific work, and this is the really great deal of his life. So he's in these papers and in books and in reading and writing and doing some classes on all kind of things. And while I was a kid, I was actually sometimes I thought that he's that I have less of him that I want to have, you know, and I think maybe that's why it was so hard to portray this figure of father for me. But now I understand that it was all right, that my father was a good father in a way he could be. So this was the best father he could provide for me, and this.
That's the only thing fathers can do. The mothers are
Yeah,
something.
and he was there actually. It was the main thing. He was there. He was not so present inside like some kind of things that I was living through when I was a child or a teenager. But he was actually there, and he was nervous for me too, and he was. Now he's really proud of me, and he was proud of me all over, like all my life. And he's really a great father. But you know, as a child, as a teenagers, we start to think something about that. We want more, we want better, and we have this kind of a feeling that it's not all right. And I think I had this feeling towards him, and that's why when we started to during the script and then casting, I started to revisit this figure of father and try to portray him. It was really hard for me to find a real person on this and to I don't know, to actually the ambition of this film was to make him bigger figure than he appeared.
Did your parents watch the film or until
No.
no?
No, not now. I really want them to watch, but I really want them to have, you know, this really real experience of cinema. I really want them to come to the cinema with audience.
Are you going to organize a screening with the parents of those people who work?
Teenagers. Yeah. I really want the screening to be, but you know, there's a lot of people because it's 25 our 25 kids and their parents. So this is almost 100 people, and yeah, that's a lot.
You need a big theater to do that. But I think it will be important more for parents than for teenagers to watch this film, because it is saying something about the world or the universe, which many other people ignores, because especially in this time with the social media, with iPhone, with pandemic, there are so many things coming out in very, very quickly ways. So most of us, I'm talking about my age, and I was really in the beginning, yesterday night, I was thinking it will be very hard and tough to me to talk about this film. So for this case, I pose you the first question about the title, just to let you to guide me inside the film, because it's very difficult to know the situation of young people, the young generation, and especially teenagers in that time. You told me that the idea was about 26 young people, but one of them quit. But you were actually 26, because the 26 is you, yourself. And you were there. You were there during shooting, during working, and you were there also behind the camera when you are interviewing your main characters of the film. You are the conductor of the orchestra, and you are the psychoanalysts, and you are also like a priest who collect the confession of the people without judging them. You didn't judge them, those people. To whom of those 25 persons you feel closer? I can tell you, me, myself, to whom I felt to be closer in those characters.
But it's really interesting. Tell me, please. Tell you first.
I loved very much the character of Arseny, because I think that he was in love with Masha, but he knows that Masha loves or maybe likes somebody else. And that scene when he passes beside Sasha and he tells him, "You are blind," you don't see. That with a bit, maybe the only time when he is angry was in that scene. And that in that scene, he really demonstrated his love for Masha. And he was a little bit fool, but he was wise. He was very, very, very warm with his, and he was very sincere when he was talking about his sentiments, his feelings, his tendencies, his everything. He was very open and very wise person. Even he is 17 or 18 years old. So who is your character closer to you?
Oh,
Don't tell me all of them because
not all of them. It's true, and because it's impossible to, because you need to have a huge heart to be really close with everybody. But this I can say that this is the strongest and the biggest connection, or even not connection, but strongest history of relationship I have with Masha. It's like it's the main thing for me, because she's a tough girl. And I know her now more than 2 years, and during these 2 years I watch how she's growing and she's changing a lot. And this is really for me, that's maybe a first time when I see somebody changing so quickly in front of my eyes. I don't have children, but and I don't know how it was, but with Masha I experiences something really similar, I guess, when you see the person and you just see how every day like she's really changing. She was changing during our shooting period, and after that almost like a year passed after that, and she's now a completely different person. And this is really I believe that for me this is the whole these 2 years is like it was falling in love for the first time, because I'm really happy that we found her. We actually found her in a class. She was this girl that we came into the class, we saw her, and we understand that this girl might be the main protagonist of the story. She was really interesting just sitting there on a mathematics class. And I was really afraid to look at her directly, when you like somebody and you like try not to scare them off, not to look directly at the person. And we were talking after this mathematics class with her teacher, and she said, "Oh, Masha is really difficult person. She's so nervous, this kind of a really tough age. She's not in the mood of doing something like that, and she's really tough. She had this depression thing and all kinds of things." And yeah, but then she was the only one from that class that followed me on Instagram just at the same day. And I tried to communicate. I began communicating with her, and then we proposed to have an interview at our office. And then it was another stage of casting, and she was present all the time, and she really wanted to do something with us. And then this laboratory started, and I tried to not to pick somebody from the group, because it was the plan. I tried to be with all of them, and we managed to do that. But it was, strangely enough, after the laboratory, when we were going with the roles, we have this kind of a meeting with everybody, tete-a-tete, with every actor, with every teenager. And when I was, I didn't reveal all the roles, but I sent the text treatment, and in the treatment it was the name of the character, the real name of the future actor. And when the future actor would came to me and say, "Okay, I read the treatment, I liked it very much. Okay, the role is fine, but who's the main?" And when I said something like Masha would be the main character. Oh, I knew it from the beginning. All of them said that. It was really strange, because somehow they felt that she would be like the one of the one of the protagonists, because maybe somebody said somebody from Kids said that I know that it would be her because you're really similar with her. She's like you're really similar, and that was in some things we are really similar, and I think I understand how she feels, but in other things I don't. And now this is maybe the most difficult period for us because. Uh, on some points of time, I really thought that I find a soulmate, in her, and I think that's now too. But now she's have like her own period, and this is the period when she need to do like need to. This was a tough year for her. Actually, that she was at 11th grade as her character, and after that she tried to enter the university this autumn, and she had two attempts to do that. One of them was actually the actors department of our Kyiv university, but uh, she's really uh, she's she's really alien girl for the actors department. They pick somebody that are more simple girls, actually simple and happy and pretty with long hair, and I don't know, with this like girlish attitude. But she's not like that. She's stubborn. She's really with this great inner world. She's really talented, but she's alien in most of
Yeah,
situation and
yeah.
most of collective. So
And
that's why she was not like in this year she was not she didn't manage to enter the actors department. It was tough moment for her, and from that point of view she had this kind of depression character. Like, she's depressed a lot, and that's why now she's dealing with a lot of dark thoughts, and I really try to help her, but this is the tough period for all of us, for me and for her parents. And but this was really now I'm feeling that I know her better, and now I'm not so in love with her. Now we have this real relationship, when the romance is gone, and you now see the problems. We see the problems of each other. So now I try to be honest with her of what I see in this situation, of her situation, and I think now she's maybe even really upset with me because I try to be honest and to speak with her like an adult, because I really want for her to be alive and happy, and to, I don't know, to live a good life. And yeah, this is the
now,
thing that
now
I
you
want.
are talking like a big sister, not like a priest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a psychologist. Anyway, one of the things of which I love the character of Arseny, also his hate for weapons and for war, because
Mm.
you talk about the ignored future. We don't know those 25 young people what will do tomorrow. They are afraid about their future, and also there is in the background there is also a fear, or how you say it, they are afraid about the possibility of the war again in that area of um, did you feel this fear inside of those young people that they want to live in a peaceful world? Because if they were those 25 characters, they were able to create the situation, the friendship between them, and seem like they know each other from the childhood till today. That means that young people, if they are left with their freedom, they can live without any need to fight, or to be violent, or to go to war. Do you agree with me on that? Or?
Yeah, on some point I agree, and I want it to be like that, like you said, that they wouldn't have any need to go to war. I think it was important for me to express maybe more my fear or the fear of people of my age, because um, we were watching how it all started. So we were there, you know, we were at that revolution that we have in Kiev, and then we saw this reaction of Russian Federation that came and annexed Crimea, and then the war started, and it was huge and it was really frightening. Now everybody is in the big cities in Kiev. Everybody is uh, not okay, but we are living in this situation. But I remember how it was the first year of the war. It was really it was frightening that it could came here, and yeah, that was terrible thing actually to experience. And a lot of kids on our casting were from that territories, because they were displaced people from east regions of Ukraine, and we had a lot of this interviews with them, a lot of stories how they dealt with this things. Sometimes they said something like, "Oh no, it's okay. I even not remember what's happening there. I'm not remember." Then I just felt ill, and I was ill for a year, and my mother had cancer, and all our family was really ill, but we were not afraid anymore. And I thought, oh, how you didn't afraid? You were afraid a lot, but you didn't manage uh, to see it inside your head. You thought that everything okay. We went like away from the war, but war is inside of that person, I guess, for life after that experience. And this, I really want this thing to be there in this story, not like a centerpiece, but just some really detail of a character of one of the characters. I really wanted to be there, just for us to remember that a lot of kids in our capital are from these eastern regions that are in the war till now. And actually, this was another thing. While I was having this casting and doing this interview, sometimes we were talking about revolution in Kiev and revolution in 2014 we had in Kiev and over the Ukraine. And I was wondered, I wondered, do you remember, you were 10 years old at that point. Do you remember something from that revolution? And sometimes it was really interesting for me to talk about this with them, because sometimes they didn't know anything about it, and it was scary thing for me too, because sometimes they say something, oh, this war, it started before that revolution, it started because of this revolution. And I said, oh no, not because of that. The revolution started because people were angry with the president and the government, and not because it was not like that. The reason was that Russia really want us to be to live like their way, not the European way. And that was the reason of Russian aggression, but not the revolution was the reason of the war that started at East. But some of the kids actually have this connection. I don't know why, because maybe their parents were not so into this revolution, and they are not telling to the kids because, you know, everybody the memory is really short, and this is the terrible thing we have now. And with our 25 guys and girls, we were talking a lot about that. And I really like that the film is in some way, I feel it like a patriotic film, because this is the film about our Ukrainian youth. They are talking in Ukrainian language. It's not like the common thing actually between youth in Ukraine, but we tried to have this laboratory in Ukrainian and to improvise in Ukrainian. And for them, for all of them, not for all of them, but for many of them, it was a new thing to try, but they tried, and they, I think they're good at that. So we were trying to do a patriotic film, and in a way, you know, like, I don't know. So yeah, that was, I don't know, is it in like an answer to your question, but yeah, this is the case.
It is your opinion. It's your answer. So it is an answer to my question exactly, because I am coming from a country who lived so many wars. I am coming from Iraq, so I do know what war means for me, for my son, for my young nephews, and for young generation in Baghdad today when they live in the continuous war. So I know what does it mean. So it was that, and I hope that cinema can at least pose questions and to push people to look for answers about that. Returning to your film, and I am around to finish with, and thank you for your time, Kateryna. You have the same name of my wife, so Kateryna.
Oh.
I am surrounded by Katerynas. Alexander Roschin, your DOP did a great job, especially in the main scenes when they are in the school or in the class, when they are dancing, when they are together, all those people with his shoulder camera, and he seems that he did one shot scene, and he was there without losing any detail, without losing, and maybe you didn't repeat so many scenes because there was the spontaneity in the acting and the expression of their faces, their hands, their bodies. So he captured everything. That was a great work in the economy of the film, and the music. The music sometime became the 26th character in the school, in the class, or in the disco, or everywhere, and was accompanying all of them when they were alone. There was not the director watching the character or the DOP watching. The music was accompanying those characters. How much you worked on with Roshkin and with your composer?
Mm-hmm. With Sasha, Alexander, Sasha, yeah, we were working even, we were working a lot at the beginning, like before the shooting period. We sit and have this like I don't know how it's in English, but this is the script with DOP, so it's like director's script. Actually, I think it's like that, and we try to imagine all of the things how we wanted to show these things. And as we started with him, we started working with him on 2 previous short films, actually. And at that time, he, I think, with me worked more as a documentary cinematographer. And at Stop-Zemlia, we really wanted to make it not only documentary, we really wanted to have this film as improvised as possible, but really wanted to be shot like in terms of fiction more. So that's why we tried with Sid and try to plan everything. And we plan the positions of the camera, the like choreography of the camera and all kind of things. And it was really cool for us then when we were working on a set, because it was really helpful. But anyway, it was striking for us that we have this class of 25 people, actually, because we were imagining something while we were planning it, but then on a set we realized that there are a lot of people here. And this was really cool, because cool and really tough, because on some things, on some level, it's hard in terms of composition to compose the frame of such a great set when you have a lot of people there. And the second really tough scene that really wanted it to be shot from different angles, and I was editing inside my head on a set to understand is everything the same every time. So we were working like that. We were doing this master shot where everybody is okay, like the actress is cool and we like the shot. And after that, we try to do different angles and to repeat everything and repeat improvisations too. And they were really good at that. They really improvised a lot, and they not improvised a lot, but they sometimes really good at repeating their improvisation. So this was the really helpful thing for us, because in terms of editing, it was really helpful to have this different angles and the same things happening. Yeah, we were nervous a lot because of that, because it was um, 25 is not 2. It was really really, you know, when your team members have a lot of self-critics, this is really hard to, and all of them are having this kind of things. So we tried to make it on the best level, but sometimes it was actually really hard. I don't know. And music, it was for me a really new thing, because all of my films before were without any music. And this is brilliant Ukrainian composer Mariana Klitschko. She's my age, or she's a young composer, and we have like two divisions of music in the film: the music of different authors that are played and listened by the kids at home and on a discotheque. So this is the music of different people, and all of them are Ukrainians. And I really like that it's like modern Ukrainian scene, but sometimes underground Ukrainian scene. It's not common music we hear everybody like everywhere on the radio. So I try to find something interesting to place in the film. And the second division is this electronic sound of Mariana. We were working, she's from different city actually, and we were working during via email and Zoom and phone calls, and she was just cutting the scenes and then doing some soundtrack and sent me the scenes with the sound, and I just tried to put in words maybe what things would be better to change there. But the thing I really happy that we didn't have, you know, this kind of a thing when I think maybe some directors working like that, but it's not the thing I really wanted it to be. When you, for example, know some good music and you send this music to your composer and say, I want something similar here, you know. I really hate when somebody is doing like that, because it's I really wanted for Mariana to find some kind of sound for the film. And it was really interesting process for her too, I believe, that because she's a composer, it was the first big film for her, and because of that, her first attempts was so how to say, you know, when the music contains a lot, and then we just like deleted some pieces of that music just for the music to be thinner. I don't know how to express it. So it was like the work like that. She the first attempts she want at all, but then we try to be like more minimalistic in the sound, because I think in cinema the sound is not so not the same as it's when you're doing your album, for example, or something like that. It should be more crystal to help the film, but not to have all the attention from the viewer just for the music. So it was really interesting process with this a lot of communication, with a lot of letters, a lot of metaphors, and kind of things I try to express it in different words in different ways for her to. And she was so she heard me, she was listening to me. It was for us it was a really cool process of doing something together. So it was for me the
So
first time, and
you were a very smart trio. You and Alexander and the composer. You were like those trio between Masha and two,
yeah,
two
maybe.
girls and a boy. Thank you very much for the film. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope all the best for you, for your teenagers, friends, and for Ukraine and for the film in the future.
Thank you very much. It was really pleasant to talk with you, and I'm really happy that we discussed some things that are maybe not only about the film, but about the things that are connected with to the film. Because yeah, that's a lot of different similar things all over these interviews, and this was really interesting to talk about some deeper issues, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I'm happy.
And thank you for your vision of the film, because it was for me really like interesting to listen to you actually in this interview about this film.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy talking to you, and hope to see you in Florence one day with your film, or somewhere in Italy after pandemic.
Well, I'm dreaming going to Italy. Actually, I've never been to Italy, so yeah, this is a big dream actually.
Okay, say hello to everybody, and hello to your cat.
Yeah, she's having a hello to you too. Yeah, because
Thank you, Kateryna. Bye bye.
thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.